How to do it. Let me show you how to do it.
Hi guys, so in today's video I'm going to be showing you how I got my tiles for my roof repaired. So basically when I moved into the house there were a lot of tiles that were broken, and it's pretty common if you live in the Florida area or anywhere where they have roof tiles. It's very important that you use a drone or some kind of device to have an aerial view of your roof, and that is very important, especially in Florida when we have a lot of hurricanes and things like that. It's very common for the roof tiles to kind of fly away, and that really exposes your roof, to things and the atmosphere that is not supposed to be. And so it's very important to do that inspection. I highly recommend doing it every year, just to make sure, nothing is missing, no roof tiles are missing from your roof. And if you have any roof tiles missing, it's important to get them replaced as soon as possible, because if you don't do that, that will cause leaks in your roof, because all that water is going to find its way through to the plywood part, and that would expose your roof to something that it's not really designed for. So those roof tiles kind of like keep it away from the weather. Some roofs have shingles, and it's kind of like the same thing when the shingle starts to fade out and the sand on top of the shingles kind of goes away and wash off, that exposes the roof itself. So same thing goes for the tile roof. So here you can see, I had a lot of roof tiles that were kind of broken. Some were broken, some were missing. So I had to pretty much find a way to either get them replaced or repaired. So here you can see that the installer is removing the old tile from the roof, and he's going to replace it with a new one. So sometimes they break kind of inside, so you have to really get all the pieces out, because the way these roof tiles are installed, they're kind of like a maze puzzle. One goes on top of the other one, and then so on and so forth. So it gets kind of like a tricky part to put a new tile in there, but it's doable, definitely doable. And here you can see he's taking that mastic. It's a special roof kind of mastic. I'm not exactly sure what they call it. I'm not a roof repair person, but I've seen a lot of the repairs. And what he's doing is he's applying it to the paper and the material that's inside the roof on top of the... So basically underneath these tiles are the tar paper or whatever, the roof paper, and then below that is the plywood. So he's applying that just to make sure if there were any damage, while he removed it, he covers that. So you definitely want to inspect it from inside as well when you're removing these roof tiles. So here he found another piece, and he's just inspecting the interior and applying that paste in there, just to make sure. And you might have to use hammer and break down the other pieces that are basically broken and missing, because if you don't do that, again, the water will eventually find its way. So it's important to take everything out, all the broken pieces, remove it, and then replace it with a new tile. So pretty much, he's removing everything. I'm in Florida, West Palm Beach area. So if you ever need this guy, look at the description below. I'll put the information down there. Please join the membership. If you want to have contact, or if you need my help or any advice, I'll be glad to help you out. Here you can see he's trying to remove everything, all the pieces, bits and pieces, and you can probably see that black tarp under this thing, and he's applying that black paste, which is kind of like a special roof material. So this kind of prevents that leakage from happening. So I think he's done from this part. So at the first stage, basically what he's doing is removing all the tiles, right? You don't want to be doing everything at once. You want to get all the tiles out and everything out before you put the tiles back on, right? So he removed the old tiles, he's applying that paste. Once everything is in place, that's when he's gonna put the top tile, the new tile replacement, back on. So I had a couple of places on the roof. I think I see 4 places where there was a damage, and now he's kind of inspecting just to make sure there is none other than those four. So many times, like, you might see leakage going through those exhausts per se, like, those pipes that are coming out. Some of those are kind of coming from the bathroom. Some of them, they're exhaust, or some might be coming from the dryer, washer and dryer, right? The dryer portion, they sometimes exhaust to the roof. So look around there as well. You might find gaps, or you might have to apply the mastic. Over here, he's I think removing one of the tiles. I think he found a broken one, so I think he's gonna make the repairs in that one as well. So basically, all he's doing is just going around and finding a place, where he needs to replace those tiles and continue the tile repair. So yes, he did find a bad spot here. So he's going to remove that entire tile. And that's one thing I'm going to recommend, that if you find a small broken piece, it's better to get that whole piece out, replace it out with the new one. Because if you have a small broken tile, it's eventually going to catch up here and it's going to break up in the next storm, whatever you might have coming towards you in future. So by replacing the entire tile, you kind of make it more foolproof. Another thing, like, if you're going to notice later on that the colors of the tiles might not match. It's very hard, because what happens is, like, once you have a new roof, it's more darker of a color, but over time it starts fading away. So you're going to see when he replaces my existing tiles, it's not going to be the exact same color. In fact, if you look at the roof, not all the tiles are matching in color, right? It has a different types of shade. So that's very normal. Especially with the fading and exposure to the sun, it can really affect the color of the roof tiles. So I think he's gonna go grab the new tile and replace it right now. I think he's just walking around inspecting other places and making sure he applies that mastic or paste anywhere it's needed. Okay, so now he's going to be installing the new tiles. He's right now inspecting this triangular piece. So I'm going to leave a link in the description below where he repaired that entire section, that entire triangle piece that he's sitting on right now. We had to take it apart and replace all the plywood underneath it, do the entire roofing in that section of the roof. And I will leave a link in the description below where I'm going to be showing how exactly he did this repair. So do check that out, because that's more of a detailed job. He had to remove all that tile section and remove that entire section wood piece and replace that entire thing. So I'll let you guys watch that video, but I do recommend, if you want to learn how to replace a smaller section on the roof itself. This is kind of like a valley, where the water kind of channels through and falls down. So that was a big job, but right now he's inspecting, kind of like, I asked him not to put nails through it, because the nails kind of put you at exposure. Eventually the nails starts popping out and cause those leaks. So he's putting this foam thing that is specially made for if you don't want to use the nails. So yeah, try to avoid nails if possible. It's I know in many cases it's not possible to avoid nails. You have to use them, but in my case there was this possibility, so I just asked him to use this foam instead of using the nails. So let's see, once he's done with this, we'll move on to the installation of the tiles. Okay, so now he's gonna take the tile and just kind of slide it through, and you know, just make sure it fits in beautifully with the existing tile. And there you can see it just slides right on, and now he's moving on towards his next one. The installation of tiles is a lot simpler than you would think so, and that's what makes it more do-it-yourself. Or you know, it's a lot easier that you can accomplish this by yourself. You know, once you get that out. So here you can see he's just using that little bit of foam, so he doesn't have to put nails. And he's just taking that tile and just sliding right in. Let's see how he does that. There you go. Slides right in. Beautiful. And with that paste, it just kind of keeps it in place so it does not move or anything like that. Just make sure it's nice and firm. There it goes in. And now it's ready. So the main purpose of this tile is, like, you know, when the rainwater comes, it just trickles down through the roof tiles off the roof, so it does not accumulate at the bottom. And that's what the main purpose is. So now he's just completing the rest of the section, and that's pretty much it. So at this time, we have completed pretty much all the roof tiles, and that pretty much finishes the job. So guys, you can definitely do it yourself, you know, if you have the proper tools, and you know, if you're not scared of heights, it's definitely something that you can accomplish yourself. You know, I had this guy do it, but next time if I ever have to do it, I know how to do it, and I can do it myself. You know, it's not rocket science. It's something simple. You just have to be very, very careful, you know, to be climbing up on the roof and doing this kind of stuff. So because any roof work is extremely dangerous, you know, if you're not physically fit to do the job, or you know, if you're not capable or and know your stuff. So again, if you are not, then please don't attempt to do this job, you know, but you know, this is something definitely that is doable, and if I ever have to do it again, I would love to accomplish it myself. Guys, hopefully you liked the video, and this helped you learn something, and please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.